Let's do this.
Get this party started.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. This is Contributor Meetup number two of many. I mean, let's have 1,000 of these eventually. So basically, this is a time and space where we hear from people that have built using Unlock or that are building using Unlock. What are the lessons they learned? What are the challenges they faced? And maybe what are ideas that they are excited about or think that they want to see happen, both at the core protocol, but even like maybe in apps that other people in the ecosystem are building. And today we have two teams. On one side, I'm going to start with the European side. So we have Paul, who's working actually still on the Shopify plugin. And it's actually pretty amazing. I've played with it. It's pretty cool. He'll tell us more about this. And then we have Joe and Chris from Content Rooms. Who are going to tell us about how they integrate content, Unlock inside of Content Rooms itself. So maybe we'll start with, we're not that many people, so maybe we can start a quick round of intro. You guys, Joe, Chris, Paul, tell us whatever you have on intros, and then we'll move further.
Sure. I can start. So I'm Chris. I'm the co-founder of Content Rooms. Content Rooms is a platform for creators to engage with their most active fan base. We sort of have two product offerings, events and rooms. Events is perfect for debuting new content. So you can imagine that like a musician debuting an album or even hosting like a boxing match. Rooms are subscription based, and it's really where creators can pull in their fans and create a community. We're integrating with Unlock, and we're really pumped to do it because I think our vision's aligned for where NFTs are going. Associating digital assets like NFTs, associating digital assets with digital experiences to create lifelong memories. And the protocol does it seamlessly. When I'm demoing this stuff, people are amazed to see that you could do something like selling tickets to a festival that automatically unlocks a content room. So yeah, I think, I could pass off to my co-founder Joe. Yeah.
Sure. And then we'll go into the details a bit later, right? That's just a quick round of intro, and yeah.
Yeah. So I've been a longtime friend of Chris since high school, and recently.
You guys are younger.
High school last year. Yeah. Good one, Zinger. So recently, I jumped on the Content Room ship to be Chris's co-founder, focusing like more as a CTO role. So yeah.
Nice. Paul, maybe?
Yeah, I'm Paul. I'm from Vienna, as you said, and I'm a developer. Been working in web design for like 20 years, and
outside of Web3 and Shopify, what are your areas of interest, I guess?
It's very universal, like a full stack approach.
Nice.
Just put my hands where it's needed.
Cool. Nice.
Of the project.
Sasha, you want to tell us about yourself?
Sure. Sasha, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm actually German. So I guess I kind of belong to the European camp, but I'm in the US. And I do all the design and community related things at Unlock. I don't really program much. I can hack a few things. Julian has been helping me get better with my GitHub skills.
Oh, he's actually getting much better. I mean, you don't appreciate your work. Sasha is our designer. He actually, I don't know if you've seen today, we announced that we have an integration with Webflow that actually is pretty easy to do. And Sasha actually built it by himself. So, I think he can get a beginning of a degree in CS. I'm Julian. I'm the CEO and co-founder and the initiator at Unlock. I'm French, even though I live in Brooklyn as well. I think that's all there is to say. I'm the one doing most of the code inside the Unlock code base these days. But I'm actually looking forward to hiring a couple more people to help us build a lot of cool things there inside of the core protocol itself. Cool. Is there anybody else who wants to? Yeah, I think Sasha. Yeah, thank you very much, whoever that is. Sasha,
Okay,
can you...
there we go. Yeah.
All right, that had to happen, right?
Yeah, I did disable it. I was like, okay, everybody's here, it's safe.
Well,
who spends their time doing that?
yeah, I guess it's like people don't have a life. Anyway,
bored, man, bored, completely bored.
Yeah. Oh, Foreign Shooter, you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, absolutely. How's it going, guys? I go by Foreign Shooter. I'm a filmmaker. Hopped on the Unlock bandwagon not too long ago. I'm super excited about its abilities to, unlock content on different platforms. For example, I'm thinking about doing it on my own, but I'm also working on an NFT project and hopefully utilizing Unlock Protocol to unlock all the content in it.
Yep. Nice. Teddy, Paul, Marshall, Igor.
Yeah, actually, my background is actually research and development in IoT, and yeah, I came across like 1.5 months to Unlock, and yeah, it was fascinating. I was working with Paul also on other stuff like MEV stuff and bots and this, and yeah, then we saw this one, and Paul was really into it because we really saw a nice use case with this protocol. And yeah, so Paul jumped on it. I'm taking a little bit the role what Sasha is maybe taking for you. I'm more, he's really the CTO guy and he knows everything really good. And he is actually learning me a bit stuff of this programming and this, and yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Marshall, you were about to go.
Yeah, so I'm Marshall. I've been doing the Streamlabs integration. I've submitted it for their review. So we're in the behest of their team. So whether or not they decide to approve it. But
nice.
I'm from Texas, so I'm American, British descent. I own it.
Nice. Cool. Don't have Mike, just listen. That's great. Nice to have you here. Cool. Okay. Well, content rooms. Can you tell us more about like actually the integration? Maybe do a demo or whatever you have.
So I'd be happy to talk about the way we're integrating it. So really, it is like I said before, the digital asset unlocking a digital experience. So NFTs have this unique way to be efficient for long tail and short tail creators, which means the most popular creators and the up and coming creators. So we see it as a way for like musicians, say for instance, you can lock up maybe like the new Drake album, and that's like a huge event. And on content rooms, you would go to the event, get the Drake album, and he would premiere it like the night before it drops. A huge event. I could see like doing 100 keys on the lock to the event. And yeah, so that's like the short tail, but eventually we want to get to the long tail, which I think is what you're also going for, especially with your ability to operate on multiple different blockchains, XDAI and Ethereum at the same time. Because one of the huge problems that we're facing and everyone is facing is the gas fee. So you think, up and coming artist, imagine Drake before he was famous, he wants to sell a ticket to his new album for $10 or 10 DAI. I'd sort of like to hear your thoughts on that, and how the cross-chain NFTs will live on.
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. The way we're thinking about this is like in the end, when you have a wallet, you have an address on every single chain. Basically, like the same 0x applies to XDAI mainnet ring to be, and then eventually all of the layer 2s as well. Like you're gonna have one single address, and the network itself is kind of, I don't want to say irrelevant, but not as, I mean, once we know your address, we can actually give you the NFT on whatever chain. And so the approach that we're taking actually both for credit cards, but eventually for all other payments that we might integrate, is allow people to pay on one chain and then issue the NFT on another one. So that would make things much easier, much smoother, and then maybe even reduce gas costs significantly. So it's not as permissionless, because in that way you have to trust that whoever you're making the payment to will actually issue the NFT on the chain, on any chain. But we think it's actually possible to do that. And that's actually how we do it with credit card. Basically, you pay us with the card, you unlock ink with the card, or anybody else who's building kind of a credit card processor. And in that situation, that processor grants you the NFT because they got a special permission on the lock to do that. Does that make sense? And so, for example, if you're already using, so if you come to, I think you're in the Discord, but if you're in the Discord, you can unlock with XDAI. If you have a wallet, we'll actually send you 2 cents for now, so you can actually do this yourself. But we're actually setting in place something where people can click a link and then tweet something and then get airdropped an NFT, an access, basically, key to a specific lock. And so that would kind of mean that it's much easier for somebody who doesn't have a native currency to a specific blockchain or a specific layer 2 to actually get the NFT attached to the addresses without really knowing or caring very much about how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yeah, that definitely does make sense. I think it's this unique thing with I remember you guys talking about this in the last contributor meetup with the EVM.
Yep.
Chains like Matic and XDAI. It's sort of keeping those tokens alive. Like you got to sell the less expensive ones on an XDAI. It's the only way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the gas costs on mainnet. I mean, there's no way around the gas cost. Like you pay. I mean, if you want this to happen on the mainnet, you're gonna have to pay for the gas cost. But in practice, we think that the memberships themselves don't have to all be on mainnet. Once we have your address, even if you're not on the network that you know of, we can actually give you the NFT on that sidechain in a way that you don't need to even configure your MetaMask or do special things to be there. If we allow you, or if we find a mechanism to attach your NFT to the address, to your address, whatever chain you want.
And how do you see this going into recurring memberships? Because one of the things for us is like we have the events, one-off, simple.
Yeah, definitely. So we actually we've done a proof of concept about a year ago on that front that actually works, and it's pretty cool. It's leveraging, so it's maybe one caveat. It only works for ERC20 locks. So if you use the native currency of a blockchain, there's actually no mechanism for doing recurring because you can't pre-sign on the low ends. But like for a recurring membership, the idea is that you would approve transfer of an ERC20, and the amount that you approve corresponds to, say, 12 times the monthly subscription or 24 times the monthly subscription, and then you get 2 years worth of subscription. Now, when you approve this, obviously the risk is like the lock would withdraw all of the funds at once. So we built a special smart contract that is called the key purchaser. And basically what you do, you approve that key purchaser to spend your DAI or your ERC20 on a specific lock only when your membership either has expired or is nearly expired. So this, like, if it's a 30-day membership, you've approved another smart contract to purchase on your behalf. So basically go withdraw funds from your ERC20 every 30 days or every 28 days. I mean, 28 days, which is a couple days before the expiration. And this way, you, as a user, you've approved a year-long membership, but you've also guaranteed that the lock or whoever you approved is not going to withdraw all of the funds at once on the first day, because that can only renew if the membership is nearly expired. Does that make sense?
It does. So it would require interaction from the user.
So just once in the beginning, right? You just basically approve 12 times the monthly thing, and then you actually don't have to do anything. But it would require other third-party service, and Unlocking could definitely provide that, but anybody else could as well, which would basically trigger the renewal. So whenever you're at day 28 or day 29 on that 30-day long subscription, somebody shows up and say, hey, I'm just gonna issue the transaction, which will get the price, the monthly price from the approved wallet or the approving wallet, and then pay the membership for that wallet. What we've done, and that's my contract, we built it in a way that there's actually even a fee that can be captured by the person issuing that renewal transaction. So at some point, we hope that it's almost something like the miners themselves, like have you heard of miner extracting value, the MEV thing? So almost like a situation where miners themselves are incentivized to issue this transaction because they go through and then they get paid, but they've technically renewed somebody else's membership.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
That does, yeah.
So we have this. It's a proof of concept. It works. The challenge is building the UI around this. Obviously, like always, it's easy to do when you're a developer going to the console and actually do these things. We want to make sure that we build it in a way that is very clean from a UI perspective. And we do think that I mentioned the MEV thing. We do think that miners might actually be able to capture these transactions easily if they see that they can make a couple, maybe not quite cents, but like $1 or $2 every time a transaction like this happens.
So is it the same NFT that you're holding throughout, like, say, the whole 12-month period?
Yes, it's the same NFT that you have, and then basically, each NFT has an expiration date on chain, so it has an expiration timestamp, and it would basically all the time go close to zero. I mean, close to basically being expired, and then renewed for 30 days, and then close to expired, and then renewed for 30 days. So it's the same idea, it's the same token. It's just like it would go from nearly expired to fully replenished.
Could you decide to make it for an unlimited amount of time?
Yes, in theory, because you can approve for unlimited amount of time. So rather than actually, when the user approves the withdrawal, they can approve, unlimited amount of DAI or of that ERC20, and technically that membership is then forever. Obviously, I should make it clear, if there is no funds on the address that approved, the transaction will fail. But in that case, they lose the membership in the same way that if you have a Netflix subscription and you cancel your card, at some point Netflix will start working because they're not able to charge your card.
Right.
Makes sense?
It does.
So is it going to be another smart contract that is sitting on top and saying, okay, there's a wallet, and here is an NFT, and I'm approving that I can charge this wallet to renew this NFT at a certain cadence? Is it like another entity that's
yeah, that's one of the challenges around user interactions. Like, you need to approve the key purchaser contract. So you basically send a transaction to that third-party contract and say, hey, I approve you to withdraw 5 DAI every month for that block. And you send that transaction to the third party, and that third party then does its thing forever. In that situation. So it's even like, the good thing about this is it's a contract that can be shared by every single membership out there. It doesn't have to be one, it's not one contract per membership.
Would it make sense that Unlock just does that exclusively, and it's almost part of the lock configuration?
Cool. That is definitely a question that we're thinking. So putting it inside of the lock itself adds a bunch of complexity that we're wondering if it makes sense to have it inside of the lock, but that's definitely an option, yes.
Or even if it wasn't necessarily inside the lock contract, like the Unlock ecosystem natively manages like maybe through a different contract, that what you were talking about, like that's specific wallet, specific lock, like you're allowed to charge at a certain cadence.
That's exactly the goal, yes. It's basically, we would provide that service for everyone.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
That's big for us because we need, like in our rooms product, we need a monthly subscription.
The recurring thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interesting one. I mean, there's a part of, if you think about the way it does now, it actually, if I'm using this every month, I'm going to be asked to just send a new transaction. So it's not as frictionless. And if I don't show up, then I'm not going to pay. But in some way, you can have something that looks like that already. Another solution is to actually have year-long membership. So instead of doing like a month-long membership, you do a year-long, and then people can actually still cancel at any point during that thing. So that's definitely an option.
And also trade their membership during the period that they own it, right? Yep. So like if I had this, let's say I had a year-long subscription to the New York Times, and then like I don't like the New York Times. I'm not reading New York Times anymore, but like my friend might be interested. I could transfer the NFT, and then it's just going to open for the remainder of however long it was purchased for.
Exactly. You transfer. So in technique, when you say transfer the NFT, you never fully transfer the NFT. You transfer the time off of that NFT to somebody else, right? So if you don't have a membership, when I transfer mine in practice, I'm going to keep my NFT. It's going to be expired. And then the transfer function either going to create one for you, or if you have one, it's just going to top up yours with the time from mine.
So a new NFT is generated.
If you didn't have one before, yes, a new one is created.
Okay.
Cool. That's actually a question that we spent a lot of time thinking about last year, whether we should have ways to completely destroy an NFT, like say, hey, I really don't want this anymore ever, and then you burn the thing. Right now we just expire it, so we mark it as 0. But there's maybe a world in which we want people to completely get rid of it and say, no, this goes to the trash. I never want to see it ever again.
But couldn't it be like a collectible? Because
I think that's why we went for keeping it, because it's collectible in that sense.
Yeah.
When I was going to the cinemas in earlier times, I collected the tickets. Cinemas.
Yep, that's exactly that. Like we decided to actually, say, hey, let's expire it rather than completely destroy it, because there is value in having even an expired one. Concert tickets is another good example, right?
But maybe you go to something that you don't want any evidence of.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, if it's on chain, there's going to be evidence no matter what, right? Like there's going to be, somebody will be able to go back to the time you bought it and in the blockchain, like go to the state on that day, and it's going to be there anyway. So it's like, it's not like we can't actually get rid of the past. There's no way around this, right? Does that make sense?
It's making it harder, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Paul, do you want to tell us? Somebody else at the.
Oh, do you want to see a quick? We haven't fully integrated it, but we have like basically prototypes.
Amazing, yeah.
We're taking little detours and other stuff of our product that's perfectly related, but just so you would see like the gist of what's going on.
Of course, yeah, definitely excited.
Yeah. Let's see, can I screen share? Yeah. Okay. So you guys can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
not anymore.
Sorry,
No, it's gone.
I wonder, can you request to screen share? I don't want to enable it for everyone in case someone shows up and does something weird again.
Okay.
Can you request?
Yeah. It just says host disabled participant screen sharing.
All right, everybody. Okay, here you go. You can do it now.
Nobody do it. Nobody do something bad.
Exactly. I don't want to give anyone ideas, but
Can you? Oh, not this one. This. Wait, are you seeing this screen?
Yes.
With contours. Okay, nice. So this is our site as it is right now. So we have events which are basically like paid only live streams with an integrated chat, which we'll show you, and then the rooms are what we're still building out, which are going to be like spaces where any type of creator can post exclusive content there, but then also like integration so that there can be interactions, right? So whether that's like a chat, multi-way video, or just other interesting ways that it's not just like an Instagram style feed. It's going to be like a scoped Instagram style feed that has only the creators you want and the people who purchased it, and then almost like try to create an ecosystem around that exclusive content. But right now, only the events are working live. So the idea would be like I would go to an event, and then I would, let's say this is like Electric Zoo, I would purchase a key, and then that would be like purchasing an unlock token.
Nice.
And then you would come into you'd get access to the venue here. This is just a demo, like what the live stream would be. And then you would be able to interact with people like in the chat here. There'd also be multiple stages. And then we're also considering the complexity of like sharding the chat or trying to scope the chat, like if there's a lot of people in there, but all sort of things to consider.
Nice. I mean, one thing that I think would be amazing outside of sharding the chat would be to recognize the status. Like, I don't know if some events are going to have multiple levels of membership. but you can even like, in front of Chris, you would show like a little platinum button or something, and you, Joe, you're just a silver member, or you know what I mean? Like, I think that would actually be a pretty fun thing to do here.
Tiered memberships. We've thought about that. There's so much to do.
Oh, I'm sure. No, yeah. It's like, this is not like, it's like just an idea that I think is definitely worth exploring at some point. Yeah.
So I can let you guys know like what we're up to right now, because obviously like we're very like it's not going to be so much of a lift to integrate Unlock as it stands into our platform. But the thing that we're working on right now is basically like integrating with Unlock protocol caused us to think entirely about our access control mechanism.
Yep.
Because like we're an exclusive media platform, so you have to make sure that only people who bought stuff have access to what you bought, and then people who haven't bought it don't have access, and that the same people across multiple devices have access. So it's a reasonably challenging problem, like say that Netflix and all these people try and solve. So what we did in the past was there was something called like a tokenizer associated with each event. So it'd try and count unique devices per event and then lock you out if you have like too many devices linked up to a specific, on the same account. But then we were like, how is this going to scale, and how's it going to work with rooms and all this stuff? So we decided to go with the Netflix approach, which is pretty cool because AWS provides it out of the box, where you can do unique device counting at the website level. So they'll take your unique device address and store it for you, and then you can access it at the global website level. So what we're planning to do is like here in your profile, like where your payment method is, you also have like your devices. So it'd be like, to have your devices here, it would list like which devices you have, and there'd be some maximum number of devices. And then you could clear them out, or in the same way that Netflix lets you manage them, but it's just making sure that there's a set number of devices per time. And then the beauty of that is that we don't have to make sure that there's like people are abusing the credentials. So we can just focus on like access control. Like once you're in and you're like on a limited device, then we can just focus on access control per resource. And we don't have to also try and make sure that you're not abusing your account credentials. So that's sort of the detour that we're on right now, that Unlock caused us to reconsider, which was actually really good. Like, cause we like might not have thought of this or whatever. And it just, so it was a good detour.
We're also gonna pair it with the MetaMask login, but
right.
Which is the whole thing to adapt. I do want to give Paul a chance to talk about his project.
Sorry about that.
No, of course, no, and I mean, this is really good. Really good. I know you guys sent me a bunch of links to that. I would definitely invite you, if you don't mind, to send some of these links to the in the Discord channel, because I think that might be interesting for a lot of people that are pretty thinking about the same kind of challenge. Like, hey, once I have an NFT-based authentication, how can I ensure that the same wallet is not reused across many different devices?
We're thinking in order to drive adoption, we definitely want to hybrid the auth, meaning that you can like use the old way that everyone understands, but also the cool way with MetaMask. Yep. That'll make it. I mean, eventually we'll get like a native app, but yeah.
Paul, your time.
Yes, so I'm working on a Shopify app that will allow merchants to integrate Unlock protocol locks into their stores, and then customers who are members, they can get a benefit. And the first benefit that I've implemented is a discount code. So maybe just for illustration, I brought an example from the old analog world. It's a zoo ticket. This is like the key, and the entrance to the zoo has a barcode scanner where I get entry with it. And when I purchased the key, I got this booklet of discount codes that I can use in the zoo for ice cream or some products of shops that are in the surrounding area. And I think this is a good example to explain what the app is doing, because people are issuing keys for Unlock protocol, and basically any shop worldwide, because it's digital, could now become a partner and offer benefits. So I think that's a really exciting opportunity for all kinds of shops and creators to like create a decentralized network of affiliations and sponsorships. So
I mean, it's actually exactly right. Like this is one of the use cases I'm really excited about because we interact with a lot of creators. So for example, we're talking about a pretty large, famous brand in the US, actually around the world at this point. I don't think I can mention their name, but like they're a massive one that you can think of, known internationally, and they actually have a lot of apparel that they don't necessarily sell themselves, but that other people sell, other vendors sell. So I think like they have partnership with, say, Gap, and then Gap will sell items that have the brand on it. And so the way they're thinking about it is like, oh, what if we created that membership just for us, and then give the NFT, or a lot of people who have the NFT in their wallet to get discounts when they go to gap.com based on the fact that they use this. And so it wouldn't be gap.com, I don't think they use Shopify, but that specific brand has a lot of partners on Shopify as well. We could grant discounts basically to every single visitor that shows up and has the NFT in their wallet. And I think that's a massive use case.
Yeah, and I mean, shops can also create their own memberships. For example, offer free shipping to somebody. Could very well be profitable for the customer to purchase a membership if they order many times.
Yeah. No, I think that's a big one, and definitely something that also, I mean, a specific shop can do, but you can also imagine kind of a guild of shops, right? Like a bunch of different shops that work together. So say, I mean, there's a set of people that are building stuff in the, for example, the green sector, right? Like green clothes, and there are multiple shops, and they can say all together, let's create kind of a shared membership between all of our stores, and then anybody who shows up on that membership gets a discount across all of our stores. And I think that's a good way to kind of increase sales for multiple people.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting that it's so cross-platform, cross-shop compatible. I try to not make it too complicated when I tell people about it. Keep it simple at first, but I think this could be in the future, if it's well explained, a very nice USP for these types of memberships.
Definitely. Yeah, and I mean, what I like, and you mentioned cross-platform, this is for me one of the best things about the protocol is the membership stays with the creator. So if, let's say, I'm a musician and I create my membership, and now I go in content rooms and I give access to my members to some of the content because they have the NFT in their wallet. And then I tell them, hey, you know what, I've got this partnership with this Shopify store. You show up there and you get a discount. I think that's the beauty of that model, where now the membership itself can be applied to many, many different things in that world.
Mm-hmm. So today I've actually submitted it to Shopify for review, and I hope that this app will be listed soon in the public app store. Nice. If somebody wants to give it a try before that, I can set up a custom app. And actually, I've done this today for a demo shop. It's online under demo.memberbenefits.app.
Can you post the link in the chat? Maybe if you don't mind, I'll use that. Yeah. I'm actually thinking about setting and maybe Sasha's going to hate me for saying this, but I'm thinking about setting up a Shopify store, because we have stickers, we have T-shirts, we have hoodies. I mean, maybe we should do a Shopify store for like unlock hoodies. I mean, the point is not to make money or unlock hats, but it would be to, and then basically give a discount to all of the members and show how cool that could be.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I'd love to sell this merch.
Yeah. Let me actually check that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. One thing you mentioned, you said the first benefit is discount codes. Do you have ideas of other benefits that people could get?
For example, there could be exclusive products that non-members cannot see.
I like that. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Yeah.
So I think that's the next big feature or type of benefit that we will implement.
Is that, I mean, is that something that would be easy to do? Like basically, is Shopify allowing you to kind of have products that are not listed publicly, that are only available for people based on some API code that you would make to a third party? Like in that case, check on the blockchain that they have the NFT.
Oh, What will be possible for sure is to hide it. If there's a sitemap, for example, that lists all the products, I'll have to figure out how to remove it from the sitemap.
I see. Okay.
But in the end, it's possible to check whether a customer has a certain tag or belongs to a group of customers.
I see. Okay.
So that will be solvable.
Nice. I like that idea as well. Like having kind of, hey, you have a bunch of products, and I mean, you can imagine like say hats, and you've got multiple colors, and then there's a special color that is just for members. Remember this thing called Red that a bunch of companies used to work on? I think the goal was to get some funding for AIDS, and in this Red line of products, a lot of different brands did this, but it was only available if you, I think, or made a donation to someone. Basically, there was kind of that idea. It's like, this is only for the people who made the donation for to fight AIDS. And I think that's a great idea. I like that, actually.
It could also be that you see it, but you can't buy it. You have to be a member to buy it, right? So like to entice people.
That's a good idea. Yeah, it's a nice one as well. Yeah, the secret, and then like, oh, you can't have it unless you're a member, kind of thing. Yeah, that's cool. Maybe that's easier to do, actually.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Another possible type of benefit would be the fulfillment method. I mean, it could be considerable that if you're a member, you will get a premium shipping, something like Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So you get like 2-day shipping for free by default. Yes. I mean, you mentioned Amazon Prime. For me, that's like one of the biggest memberships online is Amazon Prime. Like everybody's, I mean, I don't know about Australia, but in the US, it feels like everybody's a Prime member. So it feels like it's really it would be interesting to have kind of a Shopify Prime. Like, I mean, I'm definitely going to try to ping them at some point. Like, hey, you guys should do Shopify Prime with NFTs. I know their founder, Toby, is a lot into NFTs and crypto these days. Yeah. So I should, I mean, whenever the plugin is live, we should message him on Twitter, say, hey, what if you did Shopify Prime as NFTs using Unlock? I think that would be an amazing thing that could go pretty far.
That's great. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about this, if they decide to do this, I think they would integrate natively your plugin in every single Shopify store, because that's the way they would identify that somebody has in their wallet a Shopify NFT, right? I mean, it feels kind of, it's a stretch. That'd be pretty amazing.
Dream, yeah.
Yeah, who knows, right? I mean, eventually, that's actually... So one thing that, let me ask you, both of you actually, so Paul and Joe, so as you know, and Chris as well, we're going to have the credit card checkout, and that's just something that I'm actually working on, and I hope we'll have it live next week. Literally, I'm getting this goes. I actually did yesterday the first full end-to-end flow. The idea of the credit card flow I mentioned earlier, but as a lock owner, basically, I would approve Unlock Inc. To grant keys for free. And then I would use, as a lock owner, Shopify to apply for a Shopify connected account. So it's basically you go on Shopify and you set up a bunch of questions. Sorry, a bunch of questions, do KYC. So you actually have to disclose who you are because they would not allow you to charge cards. But then after this, your lock, by default, when people show up, will be unlockable via credit card payments. And in that situation, basically people pay Unlock Inc. with their credit card. And again, it could be another, I say unlocking, but somebody else could build a similar thing. Basically, you would pay with a credit card a third-party provider, Unlock Inc. And then that provider, when the credit card payment has gone through, will purchase the membership or actually grant the key, the NFT to that user. Does that make sense? Like the flow. And again, I'll document this a bit later. But one thing that we want to have eventually is like credit card is cool, but what if we actually find a way to integrate any kind of payment, like Apple Pay, Google Pay, Amazon Pay, or even Shopify Pay, because I know that's the thing. And so maybe that's the question, is like, how easy would it be to integrate something like Shopify Pay, or outside of Shopify itself? Does that make sense?
I think I understood the question, but I don't know how you would integrate Shopify Pay outside of Shopify. I'm not sure that's possible.
So the way I'm thinking about this,
look into it.
Yeah, it would be interesting. Like the way it's like, because what I would love to be able to do is basically a single checkout. Like somebody does this, now they don't have to buy the membership and then go check out, right? They basically say, hey, I want this. And now as part of the Shopify checkout experience, there is like a membership and they're going to be, does that make sense? And
yes, that would be very frictionless.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So you have like the product that you're buying, and then the membership would be part of that whole cart thing, and then you do this. So that would be a massive thing. Another thing on that front, and that's maybe more relevant to content rooms. So right now, if somebody doesn't have a crypto wallet, they would have an unlock account, and it's an email password. And then we do it's actually custodial, but there's no cryptocurrency attached to it. But we basically hold a private key for them to make it easy for them to actually have an identity on chain. What we want to do is not require people to have an unlock account. Basically, if you have a content rooms account, you should have a crypto wallet, and then unlock will provide that convenience. And I don't know how that. I mean, I have ideas of how that would be, but like basically it would be almost like auth, where basically as a user I go on content room, I have my account, and now when you open the checkout thing, and that could apply for Shopify as well. Now this thing links to my content rooms account, so I don't have to have an unlock account. I have a content rooms account that actually keeps track of my private key. And unlock provides this service, right? You wouldn't have to do this, but like basically, it would be a way for you to give to us kind of the token, when I say token, not the crypto token, but the authentication token for that specific user. So we can say, hey, all right, cool, this is user XYZ. Here is the public key, or here's their private. I don't think we give the private key, but like here's the public key. And yes, they do have an NFT, or no, they don't have an NFT. Does that make sense? And same for Shopify. It's like if I don't have an unlock account or I don't have a crypto wallet, I should be able to authenticate with my Shopify account in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is it? Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I think like when you get that in the weeds with the different types of auth mechanisms, you'll need one for Cognito, then you'll need one for Firebase, then you'll need one for Shopify.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's possible, but I don't know the way to do it.
Yeah. That's it. So the way I was thinking about this initially is like, we don't really need the full auth flow because we can trust the website on which the paywall application is embedded, right? Like if you put this on content room, we'll trust that whatever you give us, I mean, you're probably going to give us the right thing. Otherwise, you're not going to make money. So you're going to tell us who the user is. And if we can trust you, then we can attach, again, kind of the NFT to that specific identifier on your end. Does that make sense?
Is this the same concept as like right now, which is normal on a lot of websites? You'll save your credit card information, and then when you go to check out something and Stripe will pop up, it'll just automatically use the card on file.
Yeah.
So
that's going to be the idea. Yeah.
So if we say like we want users to be able to log in with MetaMask, but that's restricted just to MetaMask. So if we said like, okay, in your profile, you can also have like a default wallet. And then once the unlock modal pops up, it would just be a seamless one click and you're saying, okay, I'm buying with my content rooms wallet.
So it wouldn't necessarily be like that, but I guess that could work like this. It's more like when you open the pop-up, when content rooms open the pop-up, content rooms tells us also, hey, this is this user. And in this way, we actually don't need to authenticate the user themselves because we can trust that you've authenticated the user. And then we can point you to their public address on Ethereum and say, all right, you tell us this is user 123, and I'll tell you, okay, this is 0xABC. Now you can check whether that specific user has the NFT. And if they don't, we can allow them to purchase with a credit card because we don't need an email and password for them because we trust you to authenticate them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but how are we agreeing on the concept of a user?
I mean, that's exactly the question. Like, we would have to trust you when you tell us like this is a user. I'll say yes, cool. I know we have an NFT for them, or no, we don't have an NFT for them. And if we do, then good. I mean, actually, we don't even need to tell you we have an NFT. We'll tell you, hey, this is the public key that we have, the address that we have for that user. You can go check if they have the NFT. If they do, then you give them access. Good. If they don't, then we'll provide you the checkout experience for them to just easily purchase a credit card.
Is this at all like the Top Shot experience where you don't necessarily need like a MetaMask? Yeah,
so that's the same idea, but with Top Shot, you have an account with I don't know if it's Top Shot or Dapper Labs. I mean, like the company actually runs it. Here, it's more like you would already have an account with Shopify or already have an account with Content Rooms, and they will make it easy for that account to have NFTs without.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
If I can rephrase it, so you keep the NFT in custody for the users.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future they can get their own wallet with their own private key, and then it can be
exactly. Yeah.
But for the time, you're the custodian, and I think all you need is to have a consent on the identifier of this user.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly that. Yeah.
Is this to reduce the friction that people who don't already have a wallet set up, like let's say new users who's like, they're not into crypto yet, and they don't have a wallet, and they come and they're like, oh, what's this unlock thing? And they want to use their credit card because they obviously don't have, well, if they don't have a wallet, they don't have crypto. So they're using their credit card. And then you're saying, okay, we'll be able to give you an NFT in like Paul is saying, like in custody, even though you don't have a wallet yet.
Exactly. Yeah. And technically these users will have a wallet, right? It's just like we custody that wallet. But we'll never tell them you should send some ETH or some other coins to that. Like this is, as a user, you would not even know that you have a wallet with us. It's just like that's the mechanism for us to have a unique identifier on which we put the NFT.
Okay. Would there be gas fees associated with this transaction?
No, it's the same as the credit card transaction that we'll have now, where we charge. Yes, there's gas fees to be clear, but the user doesn't have to know about these things. It's like we charge, when we charge the credit card, we'll charge the price of the membership plus the fees plus the credit card fee. So you don't even need to, as a user, it's $5 and you're paying $6. Out of the $1, you're paying $6. Out of the $1 extra that you're paying, in practice, we are paying the credit card fees, we're paying the gas fees to make sure that it's transparent.
Yeah. So this for your clients like us or anybody else, the advantage is that we are able to use a single unlock protocol mechanism for access control without having to worry about whether our clients are privy to like wallets and crypto and stuff like that.
Exactly that. Yes, exactly that.
Okay.
With the idea that eventually, and maybe that's going back to your question earlier, you could imagine that somebody kind of now, I've got a Content Rooms membership, I go somewhere else, and then we'll be able to know, hey, do you want to attach this NFT for Julian's blog to your Content Room wallet? In that case, we wouldn't call that necessarily Content Room wallet, but like the same identity that you use with Content Rooms. I don't know how that would work, but that would be kind of one of the ideas that I have.
Would it make sense for users who don't already have a wallet that we would actually be the custodian of the wallet and you would give the NFT to us? Yeah,
that's definitely an option, and that's actually already possible today. It's not well documented, but it's possible today. When you open the checkout paywall UI, you can actually pass a provider as part of this. And so if you have your own provider, which is basically either the injected MetaMask or you could use something like, what's the name of Magic Links. You can have your own provider on site, and then you pass us the provider, and then no matter what, we'll allow that user to we'll put the NFT under that address. So we don't even know the private key of that user in that situation. And you're the one custodying the accounts. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. And then there probably would be a way that, let's say this person becomes a little bit savvier about crypto in general, that I could export their wallet and let them take control of their own.
Either export the wallet, which is definitely possible, but always riskier, or transfer all of the memberships easily to something else.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. Yeah, that's basically reducing friction. It's not really it's not just friction to purchase, it's friction to entry into the new like entire crypto ecosystem, right? Because like everybody's got a credit card in their wallet these days, but not everybody has a crypto account or knows how to use it properly. But still, like, so we would be trying to actually we're not just trying to let you buy our product, we're actually trying to seamlessly onboard you onto this new ecosystem of payments.
Yep, exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So that we're not there yet, to be clear, but that's definitely something that we're working on, and hopefully we'll have this something like that by year end. I think that's there's a lot of moving parts that we'll have to figure out, making sure that it's clean and clear. But if we can get it, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's very exciting actually, but for this you actually really have to identify the user. Like for Shopify, usually you don't have a sign up or something as a customer. You go to the website and then you buy, and in the end you put like your address and this stuff. So there it might be more problematic, but I get your point, because we had also people already to implement the Shopify application to see how it works. We created, so I'm helping him with some administration stuff, and we created docs and this to onboard the people. But really setting up MetaMask, setting up the XI network, you lose them. You know, for XI it's already a big step and people don't feel comfortable. Then there are actually some services like OnRamp or Mr. Petalin where you can buy with credit card XI, which is, but you know, it's still crypto and people still have this concerns about, do I lose my money in this? I think it's very, very good for onboarding the people and to actually get more people, not losing them in the beginning. But yeah, but there has to be still some thinking done about it.
No, there's definitely, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things to figure out. But yeah, again, we'll have credit card support in the next few days. And so, I mean, actually, maybe I'll post this on, I'll post maybe a staging site link by the end of the week so people can try it out instead of the Discord. So if you guys are interested, you should look at this. And I say guys because I know there's just guys today. Hopefully at some point we get more gender diversity on that front.
Would this maybe be possible with a browser extension or something? So like you make an unlock browser extension where you can then connect actually to the other, or just identify the user, for example.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know that we want to build this. Like, I mean, you know, if it's hard to install MetaMask, it's going to be hard to install an unlock extension. What we'd love to have, and maybe we should set a bounty for this. So MetaMask has this thing called snaps, if I'm correct. So ways to extend MetaMask's capabilities. And that's a good one that we're thinking about, like providing kind of a snap for unlock that allows people to easily see all of their memberships and then maybe easily unlock stuff from snaps. Yeah, from the snap in MetaMask.
Yeah, and the MetaMask also has benefits outside of just unlock, like having your entire Web3 identity all in one place. So it's kind of like a push and pull.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I mean, if everybody could have a wallet, it would be so much easier. Like that's my dream. Like I don't want to bother with doing custody or anything like this. Like I just want everybody to have a wallet. That would be so much easier. But yeah, we're not there yet. I just want to give a chance to Gawain. Gawain, is that the right pronunciation? Oh, sorry, you're eating. Worst timing. Sorry about that. You had a question about same mechanism for Superfood for recurring payments. Does this apply to the purchaser contract that we discussed?
Yeah, you guys were talking about like recurring transactions for memberships and stuff. So I was wondering if you guys were using Superfluid to handle like recurring transactions and whatnot.
No, we're not. And I need to look at Superfluid more precisely to know, because I know it's interesting. And Pat was one of the developers that built a couple of things for Unlock already. Is actually working for Superfluid. So I should look at this closely, but I can't tell you. We're not using them for sure. I don't know if it's the same system or same mechanism.
Okay. Also, do you guys, as far as, I know you guys are on XDI, but I know we're launching. Sorry, what was that?
Matic, is that the question?
Yes.
Yes, soon. I mean, hopefully, I mean, I don't want to say, but like very soon. To be clear, it's just a question of time. So one thing that we want to do before launching Matic is launching UDT on XDAI. So as you know, UDT is the governance mechanism, governance token that you can earn when people make purchase on Unlock. And right now it's just on the mainnet. We want to, and we actually have a system, and the PR is open. I need to fix a couple tests and then write more. But people will be able to earn UDT on XDAI. And then once we have this completely deployed on XDAI, both the Unlock contract that's already there, plus the locks, plus this, then we'll deploy the whole thing on Matic. And then I think we discussed Optimism and maybe ZK Sync are the ones that were, and maybe Binance Chain. Actually, did people ask for
The
Binance
time is
Chain?
2 p.m. Hope you're...
Okay, cool.
right. Thank you very much to whoever set the time. That's actually
Google.
Yeah. Cool. Maybe you should wrap this up. Any final thoughts, comments, questions that you all have?
I just wanted to say this MetaMask Snap would maybe be a nice idea for the Web3 hackathon this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one. Maybe I'll post this in the Discord. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining, everyone. Thanks. Special thanks to Joe, Chris, and Paul. We appreciate you having here. We'll have another one in 2 weeks.
Cool.
Thank you.
And please keep us in the loop of your progress and anything that you have.
Yep.
Chat soon. Thanks.
There.
Bye, guys.
Nice to see you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Goodbye.